I'm from Salt Lake, and I just want to make sure I heard correctly. With Esther's going to have seminars at her new residence in Utah?
Yeah. It's going to be a little tricky. She's still working the logistics out, because if she releases it today, there are only 6 events planned, and she wants like 50 to 80 people. Really intimate conversations, no cameras, just recording, talking about special subjects, taking some subjects further than they've ever been before, that sort of thing. But she knows if she releases an announcement, all 6 of the events would fill in about 10 seconds. So she's trying to determine what's the most comfortable way of accomplishing it, and what she is receiving from us right now is trust that law of attraction will bring it about. So she's getting in the receiving mode and waiting for the impulse about how to go about it. Special subjects matters a lot. Special subjects that are really out there on the leading edge matter a lot. That's the whole point of what she is wanting from it. She's wanting an opportunity for a group of people to take a subject that is really meaningful, a group of people who have the same subject in common that is really meaningful, and then really accomplish a vibrational shifting upon it. And so she'll get the ideas, and she's talking about maybe doing some of that in every city, maybe on the Sunday following the big event. In other words, there are lots of ideas that are beginning to occur to her, because she selfishly wants to take thoughts further on some subjects. And so very exciting prospect as these thoughts are coming to fruition. Yeah.
Well, I think it was in my vortex, because I've always wondered, Esther was born in Utah. Why doesn't she do a workshop? And I desired that would happen.
Over time, she and Jerry have just been gravitating to where larger groups are. It was just a sort of natural calling. In other words, the impulse to go where more people are wanting to come. There is so much appreciation, not just from Esther, but from us, about your willingness to gather like this. Whether you get into the chair and are verbalizing openly, or whether you're sitting in the room and projecting vibrationally, your participation in these gatherings is of enormous value. Your participation is of enormous value to the whole, and the whole is of enormous value to you. There's vibrational shifting that takes place in these situations that you can't accomplish as easily under any other situation or condition. So that's the reason.
Okay. I have a question. I know, listening to you for a long time, that before we come, people may choose to be autistic or be gay or whatever. My question is,
you come with vibrational intentions that turn to those things. Now let's talk about that in the context of what we've been talking about here. Let's say that you have a vibrational intention when you are born to really not just follow suit. In other words, to maybe be born in a family where they do everything wrong when you're growing up. You've come with the strong intentions to be your own person and find your own way and not be a conformist and things like that. And so that vibration that is within you when you are born is a strong point of attraction. And so just think of it in terms of a strong decision coming in that turns to those things.
Now, my question is, do we also choose our specific physical characteristics?
Yes.
Like, I want to come with curly hair or
yes.
freckles or...
Yes, but it's more like this vortex that we've been talking about. You following it, yes? This vibrational reality, and how life causes you to put an intention in it or a desire in it. And as you put these individual ingredients in, and they begin to have a relationship with each other, these individual ingredients become something even more than their individual aspects. And so everything that you intended coming in was like that. There was a vibrational vortex ready to begin actualizing the moment that you came forth into your physical body. When we say to you that once an idea of your desire occurs to you, that so much momentum has already happened before the idea even comes to you. And the reason that we're saying that to you in this way is because we want you to feel the sureness and the importance and the bigness and the momentum of it in the moment that you realize it. We want you to acknowledge that Every desire that occurs to you is a sure thing, slam dunk, once you know this the way that we are teaching it to you here today. The fact that you even know that you want something means that it can come to full fruition. You just got to stop shooting it in the foot every step along the way. You got to let the desire that peeked out from behind the clouds that you received for just a moment, you got to find a way to keep it out there in the brightness, which is just by soothing yourself and talking your doubts down and so forth. There is so much about you that was already in motion before you came here, that it was a certain thing that you would live a glorious, fantastic, wonderful life experience. In other words, that was a certainty, but you've got to match the vibration. It's interesting to us. We don't find it strange, and it certainly is not troubling, but it is of interest to us that so many humans are willing to put up with negative emotion for so long. It's interesting to us that you're willing to be that unkind to yourself, that you would learn to tolerate negative emotion when it is the indicator that you're not letting you be you. Negative emotion is just you not letting you be you. And whether it's the part of you that you put in your vortex before you were born, or the part of your vortex that you put in after you were born, sort of doesn't matter. Negative emotion means you're not letting you be you. And when you get over that and you let you be you, oh, you'll have so much fun. Life will be so delicious. You'll wake up so eager to get into the day, and every part of the day will be wonderful as you rendezvous with different people who must be on your vibrational wavelength. When you are in the receptive mode, you only meet what is in the receptive mode. It's interesting. Sometimes what you meet that you might think isn't part of your being in the receptive mode is, because you've convinced yourself that nothing should come to you other than what you think you fully completely want. In other words, Esther meeting this beautiful woman on the elevator today with her beautiful dog was not an indication that something had gone wrong or that anyone was doing anything that was wrong. The inspiration on the part of the other was part of Esther's attraction to help Esther understand something that is important to her. You see what we're getting at? Nothing wrong ever happens, but to varying degrees you allow yourself the receiving of the benefit of every interaction.
So say someone, I mean, our non-physical part loves the variety of people, the endless physical variety, but what if you're feeling like you got the short end of the stick as far as physical looks?
Then that thought will prevent you from the expansion and explosion of you and the reason that you came into this physical experience. That will be a hindering thought that will prevent you from the fullness of that which you came intending to be. Now let's break this down just a little bit. And we're going to be gentle about this because we're not wanting beautiful people to be worried about anything. It's your emotional state of being and your relationship with who you really are that makes the perfect moments in time that you're wanting to live. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes the way you look is more about the way others are responding to you. And caring about the response of others often prevents you from your alignment with who you really are. We're not saying that you can't have it all. You certainly can. We're just saying in most cases when you're feeling that you got the short end of some stick and you're comparing someone else with something, it's about what they're thinking about it, not what you're feeling about it. In other words, when you are you looking out at the magnificent world, there's hardly anything about the way you look that matters. The way you look does not diminish your ability to enjoy a sunset or a beautiful beast or. In other words, your pleasure is about alignment, you see.
So say, you're out, you're single, and you're feeling like, okay, you instantly can see, yes, that person's attractive, or no, I'm not attractive to them, or yeah.
Here's something we really want you to hear, because all of this conversation, we talked about this earlier, is much of the world is over here in the manifestations, comparing attributes, trying to sort it out there. We want you to not do that for a little while and just let your comparison be about the way you feel. I felt better when I thought that thought than when I thought that thought. I feel more exhilarated when I'm outside than inside. I really enjoy getting up in the mountains where the air is fresher. In other words, let your comparison be about the unconditional things over which you have complete control, and then watch how those consistent thoughts turn to different things.